Oh, hey there. I'm here on behalf of environmental pollution, and we need your help. Have you ever looked at the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and thought, damn, I wish I could fish there? Well, good news. You can. The Backwater Bayou is the only fishing island in the game. I know it may come as a surprise, but Galatea is actually a foraging island. The bayou is also covered in trash. It's so much trash that it's the first thing you're told as you enter the island, and it has an entire mechanic focused on catching trash. Another man's treasure, or something like that. Befitting such a beautiful biome are the bountiful beings you'll betroth to your bobber. Creatures such as trash, more trash, a prehistoric snake, Polynesians, and most important of all, the same pool of 11 sea creatures you've been catching for the past 6 years. They've somehow accustomed themselves to the environment of this nuclear landfill, probably on account of them also being trash. The Bayou update also introduced a new mechanic, Hotspots. These circles spawn around the bayou, and not only give you a random assortment of stats, but also allow you to catch hotspot-specific sea creatures, like those Polynesians I mentioned. Ring of Fire, welcome to Hypixel Skyblock. Fishing on the Backwater Bayou can be broken down into 3 categories: hotspot fishing, junk fishing, and barn fishing. Yes, there is a noticeable lack of barns, but that's just what it's called. I will not be testing barn fishing in this video, but I at least want to mention that it is one of the best ways for you to fish if you don't have good enough stats to kill sea creatures quickly. You can fish from the safety of either of these areas, drop sea creatures into the water below, and more often than not, someone else will kill them for you. There is also a collection of new creatures to catch. Most of them do the classic run up to you, attack you, and die when you kill them, but there is an assortment of uncomparable underwater organisms. The blue ring octopus. It can fly. I think that's the wrong species. It's so venomous, it's not even considered a debuff anymore. It's a D-life. And watch out for this attack. It'll vibrate your screen. Upon unbirthing it, you receive a blue ring, required to upgrade your Bluetooth drivers. If you're lucky, you can even get a lot of blue rings. The whole arm, in fact. The Titanoboa. Would you love me if I was a worm? No, but I would love you if you were a bug. Instead of running, the Titanoboa jumps at you, because running would be weird, and then it bites you, like, really hard. And upon killing it, you get nothing, most of the time. If you're really lucky, you can steal its skin and put it on your rod for a whopping 2 double hook chance. The Wiki Tiki, the symbol of my people, popularized by some other people. It will run at you and attack you, but the difference is, it hits way harder. Sometimes it'll hit everything, and sometimes it'll stop you from hitting it at all, until you kill its child. Upon its deconstruction, you get nothing most of the time. If you're lucky, you may get a bubble. A trouble bubble. It grants your rod a whole 1 fishing speed. And if you're really lucky, you can don their face on your face. With that out of the way, let's move on to Hotspots spawn in designated locations across the bayou. Only 2 can exist at any time, and when one despawns after 4 to 5 minutes, another will spawn somewhere else on the island. Hotspot fishing works by casting your bobber into the hotspot. You'll know it's in there by the green particles appearing around your bobber. Now, most people will either fish from land outside the hotspot, or fish downward inside the hotspot. But my personal favorite is underwater quick casting. By standing underwater just far enough away from the hotspot, you can insta-kill sea creatures with your rod while simultaneously casting your bobber back into the hotspot. There's no need to swap to another weapon unless it's a sea creature with a lot of health, and if you have max fishing speed, your fishing timer will begin immediately after recasting. And with the addition of the shell attribute, sea creatures you miss, specifically the won't knock you around. This test was split into 2 parts, whale bait and hotspot bait for 5 hours each. Loot share is inevitable, but the best area and loot tracked were primarily solo rates. In both tests, I had 300 fishing speed, 100 sea creature chance, 14 double hook chance, and 54.5 fishing wisdom. I used 3/4 Festive Magma Lord with Tiki Mask, Pigeon Rod of the Sea with Hotspot Hook, Titan Line and Stingy Sinker, 3/4 Snowy Gale Splash with a Thunderbolt Necklace, Ammonite Pet with Burnt Texts, Whale Bait and Hotspot Baits, full Renowned Sorrow, G-Drag, and Daedalus Blade for Magic Find swapping, accessories, passive bonuses, and attributes. Fisherman 10, Creature Fisher 10, Fishing Speed 10, Sea Wisdom 10, Bayou Biter 10, Shell 10, and Magic Find 10. I also only used half my brain cells. You see, you have two options with water hydras and titanoboas. Either kill them normally to gamble for hydra heads and boa sheds, or capture them with a black hole for consistent money and consistent, badgering. While consistent money is nice, it comes at the cost of hunting being something in this game. Capturing a mob in a black hole completely ignores looting on any weapon you may be holding, and the loot is limited to only the catcher and the owner of the black hole. Because of that, and my unhealthy indecisiveness, I decided to hunt titanoboas when mostly solo, and let people loot share if there were enough people around. Now, I am not a gambling man. When I do the math and find out that I can guarantee at least the same amount of money as a boa shed in the same amount of kills to get one on odds, I will take the long way around, the long game around. But I like to think I'm a decent human being. Sometimes. So I do let people loot share instead if there are enough around. Not with hydras though. You will be forced into mitosis and you will give me quintuple shards on average. But again, with my indecisiveness, I only started doing this halfway through the first test. Point is, hunting stats are also important. I had 116 base hunter fortune and used David's cloak, swapped to when catching a water hydra or titanoboa, hunter's luck 50 from Heart of the Forest tier 6, hunting level 25, and attributes. Hunter's pressure 10, hunter's grasp 10, excellent karma 10, echo of hunter 10, echo of echoes 10, and hunter's karma 10. I should also mention that hunting is the skill of skill issue. The worse your looting level, the more worth it hunting becomes. I am still crawling my way out of Greg debt, much less buying looting 5 for my Chimera 0 dataless blade. Like I said, I did 2 tests, one with Willbait and one with Hotspot base, 5 hours each. In total, I got 176 and 115 cans of worms, 24 and 22 bronze bowls, 2200 and 2900 half-eaten mushrooms, 12 and 10 torn cloths, 38 and 48 broken radars, 4 and 6 poison samples, 3 and 5 enchanted slime blocks, 31 and 29 overflowing trash cans, 20 and 8 calcified hearts, 3 and 9 edible seaweed, 70 and 55 alligator skin, 88 and 68 blue rings, 1 and 1 octopus tendrils, 2 and 15 titanoboa shards, 1 and 0 tiki masks, 3 and 0 Luck of the Sea 6 books, 12 and 0 fish affinity talismans, 2 and 0 water hydra heads, 16 and 49 water hydra shards, 2 and 1 bobbin scriptures, and 1 and 0 epic fishing XP boosts. Overall, I got 355.3 mil and 161 mil, which resulted in 71 and 32.2 mil per hour. Now, the Tiki Mask plays a small role in the first test results, so if you exclude it from the end total, you get 32.5 mil per hour. As it turns out, I got pretty much the exact same amount of money using either bait. Does that mean you can use either bait? Well, yes. But what's the difference? If we take a look at how many innocent animals and people I've killed, I got 577 and 451 trash gobblers, 393 and 360 dumpster divers, 1400 and 1800 frogmen, 283 and 196 banshees, 371 and 458 snapping turtles, 180 and 141 bayou sludges, 40 and 33 alligators, 54 and 40 blue ring octopus, 1 and 13 titanoboas, and 4 and 3 wiki tikis. So, To be honest, I cannot tell you why I got more octopus and tikis with whale bait, and significantly more titanoboas with hotspot bait. Actually, I can tell you why. It's cold, and it seems Orange Jesus does not want to give me accurate results for this video. Realistically speaking, a hotspot bait is probably the best for money since most of your profit comes from broken radars and blue rings, but it seems my test results just felt a little wacky and silly today. Welcome to the second half of the Backwater Bayou. If you're tired of treasure fishing, don't worry, you can catch garbage instead. Though this trash is actually worth a pretty penny. You can sell 1 coin for 25,000 coins. New money duplication glitch just dropped. I'll finally have enough to refit my wardrobe. Something you'll quickly notice is treasure chance is incredibly specific. This armor requires you to be in a hotspot. This armor requires you to be underwater. This accessory requires you to be in the bayou. I know that may be difficult, but just do your best. This rod part requires you to be in the bayou. It's also necessary to jump fish at all. This bait requires you to have single-digit brain cells. Don't use it, it's too expensive. Cheaper baits work just fine. and there are 2 of them, which means I did 2 tests, 3 hours each. For these tests, I used 3/4 Abyssal Armor with Tiki Mask, Trashy Rod of the Sea with Treasure Hook, Speedy Line, and Junk Sinker, 3/4 Snowy Gill Splash with a Frozen Amulet, Hermit Crab Pet with Edible Seaweed, Treasure Bait and Bless Bait, Treasure Hunter 50, Accessories, Passive Bonuses, and Attributes, Fisherman 10, Lost and Found 10, and Fishing Speed 10. To get max treasure chance with this set, you need to be fishing level 50, on the bayou, underwater, casting your bobber into a hotspot, with 5 other hermit crabs within 30 blocks, on any day except Thursday. However, this is a solo test. While fishing with other people is inevitable, we will unfortunately not be crab raving today. Not intentionally at least. If anyone else happens to hate themselves today, we'll get an additional 0.2 treasure chance as consolation. Once again, after 2 tests, 3 hours each, I got 906 and 875 rusty coins, 138 and 194 busted belt buckles, 8 and 11 old leather boots, 3 and 2 Moby Ducks, and 9 and 11 wet books, all of which sold for 48.1 mil and 49.4 mil, or 16 mil and 16.4 mil per hour. In other words, it's bad. Even if you keep all the Moby Ducks in your inventory for 300 hours, it only adds an additional 15 mil to the total and becomes around 18 to 19 mil per hour. There also doesn't seem to be a huge difference between treasure or bless bait. If you have high enough treasure chance, bless bait should maybe, possibly, potentially be better depending on what type of treasure you're trying to catch. If only the admins weren't so stingy with it. Like seriously, the current best equipment piece for treasure fishing doesn't even give one singular treasure chance. It gives an entire 0.5%. Absolutely outstanding. Almost as outstanding as the fishing XP gain. In 3 hours, I got 441.7 thousand and 467.7 thousand fishing XP, or 147.2 thousand and 155.9 thousand per hour. It's no surprise that non-sea creature fishing is abysmal for fishing XP, but I decided to track it anyways in case anyone was interested in just how bad it is. As for bestiary, I got 1. So, the Backwater Bayou is definitely an island. It has water and you can fish on it. Whether you should or not depends on how many people you can party up with. And for me, that number is 0. If you are fishing in a group, loot share is oddly kind. But with that said, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.